hello, everybody. Hello. What's up, everybody? So glad you are here today on this edition of Over the Line Hot Takes. If you are a first-timer, thank you for stopping by. I've been begging you to do that on the radio, so whether you're watching this on YouTube, Rumble, or you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, thank you for doing so. It makes me incredibly happy that you are stopping by. Now, if you don't know anything about this show or the radio show, I want to explain something. I am a conservative that despises the Republican Party as it is today. But I'm ultra MAGA. Now, what that means is I really, really like Donald Trump, like a lot. Like, I don't want anybody else but Donald Trump to be president in 2024. A lot of people feel that way, but I, as a host, want to seem like I'm, actually calling it down the middle. So instead of me saying that Donald Trump needs to be the guy, I thought to start the show, we will just get a vibe from some random place across the country. Say Sturgis, South Dakota. A lot of bikers out there, they have the big Sturgis rally. Maybe see what the average middle-class Americans, regular folk that really define this country, what they think about the 2024 election. Do they want Trump? Do they want DeSantis? Do they want Vivek Ramaswamy? So let's let the people of South Dakota tell you who should be president in 2024.
All right, so I'm gonna get a show of hands. When it comes to the 2024 race, who thinks that Donald Trump is going to be the nominee for the Republican Party? Okay, all right. How many people think Ron DeSantis is going to be the nominee? Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie. Okay.
Okay. That's enough. Anyway, I'm biased, but I just wanted to see what everybody else feels like. Those that are going to be voting on the Republican side of things, and there you have it. There's a runaway. I mean, listen to me. Let's be honest with each other. The primary's over, barring some sort of crazy thing happening that ends up maybe throwing Donald Trump in jail or him doing something absolutely unthinkable that gets him tossed from the race. It's over. It's over. And it's why it drives me absolutely nuts to see these guys, Ron DeSantis and others, spending millions of dollars, trying to win a race that they are not going to win. They're not going to win. That money could be spent doing what? Things like, I don't know, reforming voting, the election in certain swing states, maybe stopping fraud, things of that nature. But I digress. That's another topic for another day. I've spent many a breaths on the radio show talking about that very thing. Before I get into it today, let me tell you about my boys over at Wild Hair Jerky. Now, this is something you hear me talk about every day, and it's so synonymous with this podcast that somebody called the radio show today, and they said, hey, that's the Wild Hair Jerky podcast that you do. People literally think this is the Wild Hair Jerky podcast, which, hey, it might as well be. I'm okay with it. You know why? Because this is the best beef jerky on the planet. Here's what I want you to do. They're in the process of getting open, but they wanted me to help get the word out. So what you need to do is you need to go to this little page right here. You watching? Watch. You see this right here? This little button says like. That's because I've already liked it because I'm a boss. You go over here, you click this button, and you can like it as well. And then guess what? As soon as these guys are open, you are going to be in business. They're going to be able to get you some jerky. You'll be able to order it from anywhere. They're going to ship it to you. Top-notch jerky. I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't believe it. I've eaten a lot of jerky. This one's been the absolute best. I mean, I can't. It's impossible for me to open a bag of Wild Hair beef jerky and not eat the entire bag. That's the only downside. So go like the page right here. Click the message button even and tell them, hey, Andrew McClain told me to hook up with you, so I hope you get open soon. And hey now, that'll work. Tell them, hey now, hey now, hey now. Go Like Wild Hair Jerky. Those are my guys, and they are bringing you tonight's episode of Over the Line. And if you think I'm playing, I want you to see this right here. I keep in my backpack a pack of Wild Hair Jerky at all times. Now, granted, this is my last pack. I hope you know, Brian, I'm almost out of beef jerky. This is my last pack of Wild Hair beef jerky. It's garlic, roasted garlic and herb. It is the fan favorite. Everybody loves this. If you order it, this is what you need to get. But absolute best beef jerky. He actually sent me a message. He wanted me to relay to you guys. Let me tell you what that said. Because they're, again, in the process of trying to get open, and they've ran into some roadblocks, this, that, and the other, but they're going to get there. Here's what Brian said to me. He said, us here at Wild Hair Jerky just want to extend our gratitude to our followers and the followers of the Over the Line or the Line radio show and the Over the Line podcast. Many have reached out to us, and we truly appreciate it. We are still dealing with the health department on getting open and ask that you continue to be patient as we go through this journey together. When we do get the green light, you will be hearing a lot more from us. So keep following us on Facebook. And be sure to watch, listen, and follow Andrew and his many platforms. He said, if you haven't yet, go subscribe to my website and tell your friends about our page. As soon as we get the good to go, then we're going to let you know. And that's pretty much the same thing. They're going to have merch, all kinds of stuff. So I just wanted to show them some love real quick because these guys are making it happen. And the freedom-loving Americans like myself. And so that's the thing you want to support. And right now, the best way to support is go like the page. And tell them, hey, love you long time. I can't wait to find out if Andrew's telling the truth about this being the best beef jerky on the planet. Peter Doocy this afternoon finally got to ask Joe Biden the question. What question is that, Andrew? The question. The question of, hey, we now know that you were in on your son's business dealings. What do you have to say about it? Nobody can think about this. Think about how long that's been out there. Nobody's been able to ask that question because they've been hiding Joe Biden from the public. They've been hiding him from reporters. So Peter Doocy confronts Joe Biden. Here's what happened.
Testimony now where one of your son's former business associates is claiming that you were on speakerphone a lot with them talking business. Is that what?
Never talk business to anybody. And I knew you'd have a lousy question.
Well, why is that a lousy question?
Because it's not true.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President, you jackass. Man. What a lousy question. How is that a lousy question? It's only the biggest story. It's been the biggest story for the past 2 weeks. And it's got to do with your corrupt family where you know you're guilty of it. What a lousy question. These people are pure evil. They really are. They've done all this for money and power. And I'm convinced the reason that the DNC never elevated Joe Biden in any of the primaries before, the times he's run for president, is because they knew. They knew that he had all this in his closet, and they thought to themselves, hey, that's a liability. We can't afford that. But they put themselves in a bad situation last time. Look at the candidates. They had Bernie. They had Pete Buttigieg. They had, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. They didn't have many choices. So they got backed into a corner, and they're like, okay, I guess Joe Biden will be our guy. You know, he was the dude that was the black guy that everybody liked, so we'll just go that route. And now look. That much baggage. And the DNC, hey, the Democrats don't want Kamala Harris as president. They know that would be that much more of a train wreck because at least with Joe Biden, handlers can keep him in whatever, room of the White House they want him in. Joe Biden can't do anything on his own. Kamala Harris can. I mean, she's dumb as a rock, but she's still a functional human being. And if she decided one day she wants to get out in front of the TV camera, she could go do it. So that would be bad for them because Joe Biden speaking to the public is just as bad, if not less bad, than Kamala Harris doing it. But nonetheless, That question from Peter Doocy comes on the heels of, guess what? The GOP, the House Oversight Committee, finding new bank records that equal $20 million in payments from Russia and Kazakhstan to the Biden duo. $20 million. Get this. It wasn't just $20 million over the whole span of Joe Biden getting in office in 2008. This was all just while he was vice president. Think about that for a minute. A vice president, no matter who it is, Republican, Democrat, Independent, receiving $20 million while in office from a foreign country. Not just any country, an adversary. Russia. Who's the number one enemy been this whole time? Russia. Russia colludes with Donald Trump. Russia's attacking our beloved Ukraine. And y'all got nothing to say about this? $20 million from Russia? You guys wasted all your energy on hating Russia, and now it's like, not a big deal. And who knows where that money's going? It's probably going back into Democrat coffers. It's, that $20 million obviously staying with the Biden family, but there's a lot of money circulating. There was the big FTX Ukraine scam that was going back into Democrat campaigns. There's the Act Blue stuff. And then with our tax money, it's going to all the people that hate us and the people that don't care about us. Ukraine's probably one of those. But another group of people that absolutely despise us that we're sending money to is, guess who? The friggin' Taliban, y'all. We have sent $2.35 billion to the Taliban since we botched the Afghan withdrawal. Now, in last night's episode, if you did not watch Hot Takes last night, I highly encourage you do so. To go to the Hot Takes from last night and watch the Gold Star parents talk about losing their child in that Afghan withdrawal and how this president could care less that their kid is dead. A report from Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction that was released a week ago, and we're now finding out about it, found that since the American military left Kabul with 13 U.S. service members killed and with billions of dollars in equipment left behind, the money has continued to flow in. SIGAR released its findings in a report dated July 30th and noted that a significant amount of taxpayer funds have been given to the country since late 2021. The funds were allocated and distributed to numerous aid organizations for the reconstruction of the country. The U.S. government has appropriated more than $2.35 billion in fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023, funding for Afghanistan reconstruction programming since the Taliban took over of Afghanistan in August of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, over $2 billion to a terrorist group. No, we're giving it to Afghanistan so we can take care of the people that we left behind. No, you're giving it to the Taliban. The Taliban runs Afghanistan. And if you give the money to Afghanistan, it's got to go through the Taliban. You think the Taliban's like, oh, yeah, let's give it to the people. Let's make sure everybody's taken care of. Allahu Akbar. Here's $100,000. Allahu Akbar. How can people still support anything this person does? It defies all logic on every level. And then on the cocaine deal, you remember the cocaine? There's so many scandals we can't keep up with it. On the cocaine deal, we find out last night from an insider that the White House was traced to an individual in the Biden family orbit. And they claim that it's not Hunter Biden's. So what does that mean? That means there's at least 2 coke heads in the White House. I mean, how much more y'all want to deal with? Just asking. If you ask me, it's possible that it was a handler of Joe Biden. And the cocaine may be what they give Joe Biden to put him up on stage. I think traditionally most of us would say to ourselves, they're giving him some sort of, upper, man, it's thunder in here pretty bad. They give him some sort of upper, give him a shot in the butt or some kind of pill or something. But they just may be taking it old school and saying, let's just give him a bump. Stuff's all over the place. And if it's got a little fentanyl in it, no big deal. It's just extra pep in his step. Then what happens if the president overdoses one day? The guy doesn't have much longer, so they probably say to themselves, what's a big deal? No biggie. Man, I'm about to check this weather, y'all. It's like storming. Oh, we just got a nasty thunderstorm rolling through here. Oh, the bad part's on top of us. Man, if my power goes out, I swear I'm going to be mad. Anyway, I digress. With all of that going on, you would think Republicans would be screaming from the rooftop, let's impeach this guy. No, nobody wants Kamala Harris, but on principle, you have to impeach this guy. You would think every Republican, especially those in leadership. But you're not getting a commitment out of Kevin McCarthy. And as a matter of fact, Mitch McConnell has decided to do an interview with the New York Times and call for Republicans to chill out and don't worry about impeaching Biden. Here's what Mitch McConnell said. Speaking to the New York Times in an interview published Tuesday, McConnell said that he does not want to continue the impeachment cycle the Democrats started 2 years ago when they impeached Donald Trump. He said, quote, I said 2 years ago when we had not one but two impeachments that once we go down this path, it incentivizes the other side to do the same thing. Impeachment ought to be rare. This is not good for the country. Oh, look at Mitch McConnell looking out for the good of the country. What a nice guy. The good of the country. This is the one thing that drives me berserk about not just politicians, but even conservative talk hosts, podcast, radio, TV, is they go down this route of, yeah, we want to beat the Democrats, but we want to do it the right way. We want to do it the fair way. We don't want to stoop to their level. We don't want to set a precedent for us to go low, and then they think going low is okay. They're going to go low. They're going to continue to kick you in the balls. They're going to continue to do it. They're not going to stop. It's not going to change. These people are dirty. They're evil. And you have to fight fire with fire. If you do not, you will get burned every time. And that's been the MO of the Republicans for so long now. They allow these people to steamroll them because they want to just take the moral high ground. We want to do what's right. We don't want to do it a dirty way. I think a lot of people are starting to get that vibe from Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis just yesterday has had to fire his campaign manager, his longtime chief of staff. This is the guy that's his chief of staff for the governor's office. DeSantis shake up. Governor's longtime chief of staff, James Othmeyer, steps in, replacing Janera Peck as campaign manager following disappointing GOP primary start. So it's not his campaign manager. It's not his chief of staff that was fired. It's his chief of staff that he's bringing in. And here's what happens. I explained this on the radio, but when you're not doing good, you're not getting people excited, donors start backing off a little bit, and they say, hey, I think I'm going to wait on giving money unless something changes. Well, if you get the word, what are you going to do? Just like any other regular job. If your boss says, hey, if you don't start working harder, then we're going to have to let you go, you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to start working harder. When Ron DeSantis is told, hey, you got to fix it, you got to do something different, or we're going to stop donating to your campaign, well, he does something different. His biggest donor, who's given $20 million this year already, told him he's not going to give him any more funding unless he can prove he can bring in more donors, get people excited, and take a more moderate stance. This is likely a result of that. Trying to take a different route. And that's the sad part, because I don't think Ron DeSantis is a bad guy. I think he's a good guy. I think he's doing a great job in Florida. But the sad part is politics works in a way where only a candidate can survive with money. And that's what needs to change. And if you're a candidate and you're taking money from millionaires, those millionaires want favors in return. Those millionaires want you to run your campaign a certain way. Those millionaires want you to rule and legislate and run the White House in a certain way. And so you're no longer working for the American people. You're working for somebody that donated to your campaign. Now, if you're rich, like Donald Trump, you still have to take money, but you can tell those people to go F themselves. Say, hey, you can donate to my campaign, but I'm not giving you any favors. Because he could wheel and deal. Politics needs to change to that. And it sounds crazy. Sounds like a crazy thought to say, yeah, we need to only elect millionaires and billionaires. But hey, that may be the ticket. Because money is what's ruling these elections. The way money is spent is also ruling these elections. Republicans are spending them on TV, radio ads, campaign stops. Democrats are spending it on shady companies that are all over the country and are creating fraudulent voter registration forms. And that's how they're winning elections. Maybe you should find fire with fire. I don't know. I'm just saying. They're not doing it the right way. And something's got to change. And our only hope in 2024 is Donald Trump. I don't care how many times somebody says, Donald Trump's not electable. He's lost elections the last 3 years. He only won in 20. Well, it's bullcrap. All of it's Democrat talking points. Trump is the guy. And it's up to us as a country to make sure the election is as fair as possible. Because if it's fair, Trump wins in a blowout. It'll be the greatest comeback ever in American history. But if it's somebody else, I mean, who you got? You got Ron DeSantis. You got Chris Christie. You got what's the Richard Perry, Paul Perry, whatever his name is. Vivek Ramaswamy seems like a good. Or what do you got? What do you got? This guy? What do you got? Mike Pence pretending to pump gas?
Hey everybody, Mike Pence here. Remember $2 a gallon gas? I do. And then Joe Biden became president of the United States and launched his war on energy. Since that time,
you're not pumping gas right now.
60%. Electricity prices are up 25%.
Mike, you're not pumping gas. You haven't selected the grade.
Causing real hardship for working families.
Select the grade, Mike.
Farms. But we've got a plan
Mike, what are you doing?
We just unveiled the Pence Energy Plan.
Oh my God, dude! Push the button. It's beeping.
But by 2040, we will reclaim America's role as the leading producer of energy in the world. Join us in the fight for American energy leadership by going to MikePence2024.com. We can lead the world once again.
Oh my God. Mike's not going to select the grade. Click the 87 button, you doofus. Is that who you plan on defeating the Democrats? Mike Pence, whose campaign slogan now is "Too honest"? Is that who you got? Because good luck to you. Good luck to you, buddy. Trump is the guy. And y'all can say, Andrew McLean drinks Donald Trump's bathwater and he's got Cheeto dust on his fingertips. I don't care. I'm just being straight up with you, which is all I've ever been. On these podcasts, on the radio show, my concern is not whether or not Donald Trump has a job in 24. My concern is saving this country and making sure there is a country left for my kid, for my kids, my grandkids, for their kids. Because another round of what we got right now, you might as well move to Russia. You might as well move to Cuba, Brazil. Because you're not going to be able to tell the difference. That's how bad it's going to get. And people better wake up, and they better wake up fast. Because this is a snowball Willie unlike anything we've ever seen in this country. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Thank y'all for checking this out. Comment, like, subscribe, and share it with your people. And until next time, see you, cuz!